from the VI, a place of history like the African side, yeah. St. Thomas and St. John and St. Dry, nothing can come between us but the waters that divide, yeah. Even though we're just a few square miles, I travel around the world with Virgin Island pride, yeah. A lot of people still going through strife, and still we live a joyful life. That's why the place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. We got so much to lose, yet so much to prove. Hey. Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Hey. When it's difficult, we still a push through. No matter what the blessings of we continue. We are a people of great value. That's why we stick together like tamarind stew. Hey. Remember Queen Mary, we make the fire burn, and Edward Blyden with the Africa vision. Remember St. John with the slave rebellion. General Butler say emancipation. That's why the place nice, so nice, so nice. Sweet, sweet St. Thomas nice, so nice, so nice. St. Croix full of pure vibes, so nice, so nice. St. John a real paradise, so nice, so nice. Hey, we got so much to prove, yet so much to lose. Hey, Virgin Island teachers never raise no fool. Mama sent me school. Yeah, St. Croix produced the band midnight. Yeah, man. Them kind of rules. Mind check, my love. Una do us. How are the VI massive them there? If you from the VI, when you there, put your hands them up high. Represent your home. If you from the VI, when you there, put your flags them up high. VI to the ball. The party don't start until we reach. No, we don't bring no sun to the beach. All we need to hear is a beat. So we go tong 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 go tong tong tong. So we go rong tong tong go tong tong. So we go tong 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 go tong. So we go. Cause everywhere where we go. So we could get tan bad in the streets. Whoa! Cause everywhere where we go, the party just turn up. Party from like 10 to sun up. We don't drink, we rum. Find a woman, then walk up on the gal and scum up. Everywhere where we go, the party must nice. No, we don't hook up, we head don't tight. We don't party and live we life. If you from the VI, when you there, put your hands them up high. Represent your home. If you from the VI, when you there, put your flags them up high. VI to the ball. No other place in the world to party like we. We don't smash up the fete, turn up the party. Are we who bring the vibes? Are we who bring energy? VI must put your hand in the air. Let me see who you there. Everywhere where we go, the party just turn up.
DJ jam band, brother. When the band begin to play, turn to me and say, gonna look a man inside the band. To walk me waist, but hold me hand. If you want the job, daddy, follow me to party. Hold me, walk me waist. Wind up in front of my face. Bend down, push it back. This music will never stop. Ease back from my team. Jump back, start to sing. Wind up, roll your waist. Music rocking down the place. Music from the VI. The more I hear, getting high. No. Worries alone inside the band, boy. Walk your way from the river. Never hear a guitar ring when the ninja start to pull the string. Never hear a keyboard line Ajo sing till it she's fine. When the bassman start to play, only then she ram magic. Then the drummer start to roll, make she lose control. Only then she start to ball for more. When the horn them start to blow. If you want the job, finally follow me to party. Hold me, fuck my waist, wind up in front of my face. Bend down, push it back. This music will never stop. Ease back, pan my thing, jam back, start to sing. Why not? Roll the waist, music rocking down the place. Ooh, I. Music from the VI. Ooh, I. The more I hear, getting high. Yeah. Oh yeah. Melinda says she feeling hot. Start getting naked on the spot. Exposing everything but her secrets from Victoria. A police come to lock she up. She grab him, start her walking up. The officer just lose him and grab she and he start to whine. Say she ain't going home again. It's behind music and she paid. With the same melody, follow me to party. Hold me, fuck my waist. Wind up in front of my face. Bend down, push it back. This music will never stop. Ease back, find my thing. Jump back, start to sing. Why not? Roll the waist, music rocking down the place. Music from the VI. The more we hear, we getting high. Music from the
Yeah.
Talking about a land of beauty, we call it paradise. We want to come down and check we down in the Virgin Isles. We had a share of problems, we know you have yours too. We're doing our best to solve them. We want to welcome you. Come feel our gentle breezes, marvel at a sandy shore. Our crystal sparkling waters, bet you can ask for more. St. Thomas, St. Paul, St. John, next door to the PDI. Filled up with fascination, your interest will satisfy. Some people they try to top us, but man they just cannot. I suggest you come and join us, because the VI hot. Hey, oh. Shout it out, put up your hand them high. Know that you from the VI, wave your flags up in the sky. Show them we run this party, show them we rule this fed. Show them we have energy, tired man will we'll never get.
We leave these islands all over the world we roam. When it comes to carnival time, be ready to come back home. To eat boiled fish and fungi, cherry and torments stew. To drink passion fruit and morbi, sea moss to name a few. We have to catch up the juve, jump up behind Jamban. We have to be in the parade, jumping with just action. We have to swim Maidens Bay, Cookie Point and Bess up too. We have to visit St. John, from where we have to do. St. Paul is our biggest beauty, historic sites galore. I suggest you come and join us. Come down and take a tour. Hey, oh, shout it out, VI, put up your hand them high. Know that you from me, VI, wave the flags up in the sky. Show them we run this party, show them we rule this fete. Show them we have energy, tired man we'll never get. VI, hey, we from the VI, oh, VI, hey, VI, oh. Packed up with friendly people, smile, wrapped up in our pride and culture. That is the Virgin Isles. We'll teach you some old traditions. That's what we'll be step up to. We'll show you an old plantation, or history old and new. Come down and spend your money. Shopping is duty free. Purchase our rum and clothing, artwork and jewelry. Our day sale is really lovely. So many things to see. Snorkel live and swim our waters. Fulfill your fantasy.
Phone, television, computer for live streaming, or your nearest radio. It's now time to listen to Connecting the Dots.
People come, let we go. Turn up the radio. Turn it up. This is the people show. No matter where we go. Connecting people. We all love you. We are here for you. We can hear you. Connecting people. People come, let we go. Turn up the radio. Turn it up. This is the people show. No matter where we go. Connect the dots, family. Connect the dots, unity. Connect the dots, reunion. Connect the dots.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning to every one of you out there, both Facebook Land and Traditional Radio. This is Adler Fonsi down next door. I was on a brief hiatus this past week, of course. Just wanted to offer condolences to the family of Vigilio Luis the First. Of course, a very good friend. They call him Benny, Bim. And to other condolences going out there. It seemed that we have been losing a lot of people over the last year, continued into this year. And there's an old saying, the older you get, the more people you know that are dying. And, I just wanted to offer condolences to many of those families out there who have lost a loved one. This morning, let me provide in some updates as usual. I just wanted to go back in to the issue of George Floyd and even the guy Dante Wright. They seem to have dominated the news. You look at CNN, you look at Fox News, but more so CNN and other news outlets, you saw, several reportings of these particular cases, and it's quite interesting that as you look at the case and how the case progressed, this thing have reached so many nations, so many sovereigns, so many different countries overall, that it for me it seemed as though it's somewhat polarizing, but at the same token, I mean, it's unfortunate incidents that took place that people are taking notice to, and the racial profiling as well as the racism that exists out there. We could only hope that it just goes away, but it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon, because you see the number of cases rising over and over. And one of the most disturbing things for me, I don't know about you guys out there who have been paying attention or following the news, but for them to continue to show that graphic scene with what's his name, Chauvin, who just was convicted, with his knee on George Floyd's neck over and over, wasn't a good sight at all. And every time I looked at it, and I could only imagine what the family was going through, just witnessing this repeatedly being shown on the news over and over and over, was not something that anyone cared to see, but it is real. And as I indicated, it is real. Just to see how Chauvin had his neck, and I'm talking about them showing this video over and over and over. And of course, Virgin Islanders, we have our own set of issues here in the Virgin Islands with the rise of violent crimes here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and although we pay attention to the news abroad with the George Floyd and the Chauvin, I think it's incumbent on us to pay attention to what has been transpiring locally with a number of violent crimes, and see how we could participate in the decision-making process, even if we start providing our opinions or what we feel we can do to contribute and curb crime here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And moving on to something else, vaccinations and festivals. I know that there was just a festival this weekend, and people need an outing, people need an outlet. I understand that it was 200 people that were invited to this virtual or festival, and they were able to see performers live and get a festive time and be able to enjoy something. And as I said, people are looking for outlets. Not this being locked up all the time for so long. I mean, it can be frustrating, and I think it has created some problem in many households with the level of conflict. And if I may just divert a second here now and to go over and just to wish, congratulate my daughter on her pregnancy. I missed this reveal party over the weekend where Danny, her husband, Danny King, and they were able to just enjoy a reveal party. I saw the videos and the drops of it, but I just wanted to congratulate my daughter and Danny. So I would say Mr. and Mrs. Danny King, Danny and Vanessa King, on that pregnancy, and I pray publicly that they're able to see a healthy birth of their child, and it is supposed to be a girl. And I think for me, I have to come to grips with being a grandfather. And but I am going to be a grandfather second time, because I have my son Sean, who is in Atlanta, that gave me my first grandchild, who is Bailey. And now I have soon to be second grandchild, and I believe I'll be receiving that on around Christmas time. She might be due in November. But of course, it's going to be the first Christmas with that second granddaughter. So, just moving on. Thank you, Rob. Rob is already a grandfather, so that's why he's saying congratulations to me. But this morning I wanted to discuss something that I tried to get participation from persons in this respective field. And I'm talking about local contractors in the Virgin Islands. And as I went around into the community and I tried my best to engage persons or contractors in the community, no one wanted to participate because they feel that they could be displaced for saying the wrong thing or for speaking their mind about what they're experiencing in the Virgin Islands. And I have often said this. We have over $1.8 billion that was earmarked to the Virgin Islands for our restoration, rehabilitation, and construction of new facilities, from hospitals to schools to road paving, you name it, but to uplift or to improve our infrastructure. There should be enough money to go around for everyone. But when you hear some of the contractors in close quarters expressing their discomfort, dissatisfaction with not receiving a fair shake. So I decided this morning that I was going to open up the discussion about the local contractors, our local contractors getting a fair shake. And when I say a fair shake, we start with, let's go back. How much federal dollars are earmarked for construction? Is there an adequate circulation of dollars? Meaning that, is there an adequate circulation among local contractors to really boost this economy? Because those contractors will in fact be contributing to the coffers by way of paying taxes here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. How can we ensure more job opportunities for locals in the construction field? We have a lot of people out in these communities who have trades. And I'm talking about even persons who may have been convicted of a crime and out now, but learned the trade in prison. And I'm talking about carpentry, tiling, you name it, plumbing, you name it, but have trade. But are we actually reaching them? Are we curtailing the level of imported labor? Now, I've seen projects here in the Virgin Islands, and I'm seeing dozens and dozens of new faces, and I'm not seeing enough local faces. And the question that we have to ask is, are we providing a fair chance for a lot of the locals to be gainfully employed in these jobs? Again, I'm going to say that we have enough money to go round, that we can reach, or many contractors can be a part of this whole process, our rebuilding process. And while I'm speaking about rebuilding, we're talking about home repairs, rental repairs, and the list goes on up to the major construction. We have major construction projects coming online relatively soon. And the question that we have to continue asking is if the local contractors are getting a fair trade, a fair shake. Are local contractors comfortable with the present conditions? In my interaction with a few of the local contractors, and they don't want to be known, they're not into radio, they're not into public speaking, period, but they're hoping to have a voice for them, a person or someone that can speak out for them. I think the time has come where, and this is just my suggestion, a lot of the local contractors are going to have to sit down if they feel that they're being bypassed and start forming what you call joint ventures for the purpose of being able to achieve, those projects at those types of levels where they could provide the bonding that is necessary to be able to successfully bid on these projects. But we can only hope that the Department of Labor, as well as the leadership, the administration overall, actually provides opportunities for a lot of the people in the community to be able to apply for these jobs within the construction field as we rehabilitate the Virgin Islands infrastructure, start rebuilding from road paving right up to school construction. And our local contractors involved in reasonable amount of developments. I don't know. That's up for the local contractors or some of them, if they're listening, to call and express themselves. You don't have to give name. We don't need to know your name. We just need to know what your personal experience was. How would you propose, or what would you suggest in terms of being able to expand opportunities for a lot of the small local contractors here in the Virgin Islands? And then there's a question that I eventually, if the Commissioner of Property and Procurement would avail himself, I'm going to extend an invitation to him, because I'd like to know if is there, or is the preferred bidders program administered legally in the Virgin Islands, because I know that there's a preferred bidders program that we have in the Virgin Islands under the Department of Property and Procurement. So I'm hoping that I can engage the Commissioner of Property and Procurement to have a valid discussion. I'm also going to extend an invitation crossing over, and let me share with you, before we start to even open up the lines to entertain calls from persons who wish to comment on this particular subject or any other subject that you want to broach this morning. I took a short trip to Michigan, and I just returned yesterday in time for my radio program. And this travel portal, I can see where there are some little niches, and it could be problematic for some. And we need to be very careful. And I'm going to say something about even the travel portal and the penalty that you have for persons and that submit false test results, or even manipulate the test results, making it false and submitting it to the portal. And I will share with you my personal experience first. I submitted my test results via the portal, the first one, because I took a COVID test leaving the Virgin Islands, and I took a COVID test returning to the Virgin Islands. Now, I submitted the first one when I was leaving, of course, that the claim was supposed to be valid for 5 days, but not taking any chances. I said, you know what, 5 days or 72 hours. So let me take another test in the States and submit it via the portal for verification with that certified respective lab. And do you know that that return email that was supposed to be the email approving my submission, which is used when you go to the airline, you have to show them that approved response from the government of the Virgin Islands. It went into my junk mail. Now, mind you, I'm checking my email over and over, but not thinking that maybe I need to check my junk email. So I say this to say, had I not taken the liberty to check my junk mail, I may have been stopped here on the airport, and God knows what could have potentially happened. Although I followed all the procedures, that little issue of that email going in to my junk mail, which is a valuable piece of information that was needed in order for me to travel. Do you know that the airline was telling me, well, you cannot fly if you can't provide this particular approval, this email. So I had to dig all into my junk mail to find this email, and I found it. So I say this to say, how many people may have encountered the same thing traveling to the Virgin Islands, that whether it's the URL or it not being a secure email address, that it's filtering the email that is coming from the government of the Virgin Islands portal and going into people's junk mail, and they are not finding the email. And that's just me. I don't know how many other people have encountered the same problem, but it's possible. So I just wanted to bring that up and speak about my personal experience, and just hope that the government, if they can buy what you call a certification for the email address to ensure that all browsers or all email browsers recognize this particular email coming from the government of the Virgin Islands, and that it's in fact a secure mail and not spam. So, folks, this morning, again, the number to call here at WSTA is 340-774-1340, 1340 at WSTA. No, it's a slow morning, but I just wanted to, broach that subject and cover all those perimeters, and just moving on with this thing of the local contractors. We've heard this cry for many, many years. And you would think that after every natural disaster, that because of our past experiences, we're prepared moving forward. But we're still encountering some of these problems, and I'm hearing the cry from a lot of local contractors, and the more contractors that we can get involved in the construction process is the more money that the government will realize in terms of even taxes being paid into the coffers of the Virgin Islands, because these are folks who are domiciled here, live in the Virgin Islands, contribute to the treasury of the Virgin Islands in so many different ways. They're the ones that patronize stores. And when you have outside contractors coming in and they're sending the money out, I'm not sure if the Virgin Islands is receiving the true benefit of the dollars that are coming into the Virgin Islands for the rebuilding or the construction, repairs to our infrastructure, and to enhance our infrastructure here in the Virgin Islands. So it's something that I believe is extremely critical, and something that we need to pay close attention to, because, it's not going to come around again. We see money being infused into even the Water and Power Authority for the underground burial of power cables. We also see the movement of new companies coming into the Virgin Islands, starting up new asphalt companies, and we can only hope that they're actually employing locals at these different these different businesses where we have more local people employed. Because after COVID-19, we know that a lot of people lost their jobs. We know that a lot of people were unable to meet their obligations in paying bills, just like many other places. With all this stimulus money coming in, and we look and when we see the transition between dollars released from the States, earmarked for the Virgin Islands, and folks are anticipating or waiting for the stimulus checks, it seemed to be a large window between those on the mainland that get their checks and when we receive our checks here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. But that's that's an issue for the Department of Labor to really address, along with the Department of Finance, in having coordination and knowing exactly when we receive these monies for the issuance of those checks. But the quicker we get those monies out into the community, is that the better people start to feel, because all of this actually affects or improves morale, as I would say. And one of my biggest pet peeves also is this income tax refund, to receive income tax refunds on time. So, folks, we have a lot of issues, myriad of issues affecting the U.S. Virgin Islands. So let me go to the telephone. I have a call coming in this morning. Good morning, you're on the air. Connect the dots.
Good morning, Santa Donna Stars. Nice, always listening to you. This is Genevieve Scatliff.
Yes, morning.
I call about this road coming in here in Hidden Valley. Is it a public road or it belongs to the federal government?
Which road in particular you're talking about?
Coming down, you will come down in it if you go by I think your mother house or your aunt house or somebody.
Yeah, my grandmother, no, my uncle.
Okay. When you come down there, building 13, you realize that they have the whole of in here blocking. You cannot go out from in here like the regular road where we used to go towards the housing. Yeah. We cannot go through there. We have to go back 14, go up there a little squeezy hill and go down by Catholic Church.
Okay.
And it's a lot of people that lives in here.
Yeah.
So I want to know if it is a government road or federal road, because we block it off and we can't go out from here. Only that little squeeze up hill you could go through.
Yeah.
If one car is coming down, you got to reverse and go down so they could pass. So I just want to know.
I think that's a public roadway. If I understand you correctly, that road to come out to Holy Family, and there's a grocery store, the lumber yard is right there.
Yeah, you'll have to go up that little hill from in here. We had the main road that we go straight out from.
Yeah.
Anyway, in Hidden Valley, you go straight out by the housing office, building 10, and right out to the office.
Yes.
And then you go down the hill. That whole road they have closed off from us. We can't go through there anymore.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that administrators down at Public Works is listening this morning, and I'm sure that if there's something that they can address, and I will make that appeal for you, or to re-emphasize that appeal for you. If Public Works is listening, please pay attention to that particular thing, because I know exactly what you're talking about on that narrow little road for everyone to traverse through that little road.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about. So you
have the administrator number. It's still up Government House. You have to call.
Yeah. Still could call Government House, ask for the administrator, and let him call Public Works, and see if he could instruct someone to come over there.
I will call Public Works too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay.
So I thank you.
Yeah, thank you for calling.
Have a blessed day. Show is good. Your show always good.
Thank you.
Okay, dear. Bye-bye.
See, and these are the little things that, if you address these little issues, it can only but make someone happy. And we have to start isolating people, particular situations, because when a person, and I've said this in the past, when an individual come to any administrators or public official respective office, they're coming for their specific issue, not to discuss the multiple issues that exist out there. So in addressing that one person issue, it could only but make them happy. And while I'm talking about road, there is this road, apparently it's a manhole that they have cones around in Estate Thomas. And there needs to be a correction here. That is not Public Works' responsibility when it comes with a manhole. And correct me, anyone could correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's the Waste Management Authority. And the Waste Management Authority need to go up there and resolve that issue, because if someone's car goes down in the hole, in that manhole, what are you going to tell them? You're sorry? So please, let's try to see if we can address, or you, and I'm talking about the Waste Management Authority specifically, who's responsible for sewage, manholes, to include manholes, to go and look at that particular manhole with them cones around it in Estate Thomas. Because God forbid someone driving down that hill, and it is to the mouth of someone's driveway, someone driving down there and mistakenly, if it's wet or something, and slide straight into that manhole and destroy their car. So I could only hope they're listening. Morning, you on the air. Connect the dots.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Johnston.
Yes, morning, sir.
Yeah, Mom, just like to pay my respect to you.
You got your radio
I just
on?
want to talk. Yeah.
It's echoing.
I want to talk about by the hospital. I see them marking the road all over, and I see a lot of sick people will be passing to go by the hospital, and up to now they ain't mark the road along the hospital. I think that's one of the most important part. They need to mark the road, and a lot of hole in the road. They need to spray somewhere, spray along the whole them.
Yeah.
A lot of pothole until they could pat the hole where they can't, Public Works can't send somebody to spray around the hole so when people driving they could see some of the hole you can't do, and you look and mess up your front end, and the government ain't help you fix back your car when you're dropping these holes. So I want to know where the people tax money going? Where it going?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Donnison?
Yes, I understand.
This is bull crap. They're sitting on wherever they're sitting on and collecting all the big money and thing, and people in danger driving, dropping in big hole. Why they can't mark the road by the hospital? What's the problem? Yeah, that's all I got to say right now.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
All right.
Thanks for calling.
Okay.
You see, the thing that we have to understand is that when taxes were born, and when I say when taxes were born, when taxes were first introduced, the level of taxation was for the purpose of collecting monies to provide for essential services. So, fundamentally, you would assume that services would include road repairs. And including road repairs, if someone should go into that hole and destroy their car, for whatever reason, how they end up in the hole, I mean, if the holes, I have seen potholes in clear view that people paint in colors around it now to make sure that the motorists can actually see the hole, because I can't express to you enough the number of people that have gone down in potholes, to include even visitors in jeeps, rent-a-cars, go down in these holes because they can't see them. So now they're marking the holes, and I applaud whoever is out there marking these holes, because at least it's giving a caution to the motorists that there is a hole there that could potentially either destroy the car or either cause them to veer off the road, causing a major accident. And then we ask the question, who's going to be liable? So we need to become aggressive, vigilant in patching up these potholes, because I do see them all the time. I drive all the roads, and while we have actually witnessed some road repairs, I don't think it's sufficient, or it's covering the mass of road repairs that we need here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So the number to call here at WST again is 340-774-1340, 1340 here at WSTA. I want to take a brief pivot here to recognize my sponsors, which is First Stop Gas Station right there across from Vitraco Mall. And you know, when you go in there, there's basically everything that you could think of in there. All types of different, even accessories for cell phones, and all types of drinks. I've never seen so much coolers in one store. Seems like they have every drink that you can think of. And then we have Catch of the Day. And I speak about Catch of the Day all the time. Catch of the Day located down on Cookie Point Beach. I mean, you go down there and there's so much to do. I think that's the liveliest beach to begin with, Cookie Point. But Catch of the Day, they've been cooking all types of seafood dishes. And then you have surf and turf. And I'm trying to get away from the steak, but they have a steak that I can't even mention to you how good it is. It reminds me, it even tastes better than the Root Chris and the Red Lobsters and stuff that you guys frequent in the States. But when you come to the Virgin Islands, go to Catch of the Day and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Some of the fresh lobster from the water to the pot to your mouth there at Catch of the Day. So if I can pivot here a second and play their commercials briefly. Store, your number one convenience store, located across from Vitraco Park. You name it and they have it. From electronic accessories to your favorite drinks, and from gas to groceries, you name it and they have it. First Stop 24-hour gas and grocery, located across from Vitraco Park. Check it out, your favorite store for gas and grocery. It's Catch of the Day. From the water to the pot to your mouth, everything is fresh at Catch of the Day, located on Cookie Point Beach. Enjoy some of your favorite seafood dishes, fresh catch, lobster, tank, and whelks, when in season, as well as surf and turf. They cater to your wishes. While you sit and wait for your food, enjoy the friendly bar and bask in the ambience that is second to none. Enjoy the white sand, sun, and crystal blue water. We are sure the experience will be unique. Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come and enjoy Catch of the Day on Cookie Point Beach. Yes, those were my two sponsors that I just wanted. I just wanted to share with you guys. It wouldn't be possible for me to be here on the air every Monday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. WSTA Lucky 13. Again, the number to call here WSTA is 340-774-1340. 774-1340. Again, moving along, having these discussions about these projects and stuff in the Virgin Islands. Remember that the discussion this morning was supposed to be about local contractors, but I opened up the line for people to be able to call and express their concerns about portions or parts of our infrastructure that people feel are not being addressed at an adequate pace or level. And rightfully so, because, we are all paying taxes, and as we pay our taxes, we expect those essential services to be available to us to address our respective needs. And if we're not seeing it at that adequate level, it becomes a major concern for those folks who are being personally affected. And again, I can't, because I received a number of calls from folks even in that estate, Thomas, with that manhole that has cones around it, but on a concrete road, you have to be so careful, because if the road is wet and a car slides out of control, ends up in a manhole, CV joints, front end arm. I'm not a mechanic, but I know about some parts on a vehicle, and I know about some parts on a vehicle that could potentially get damaged should they go down in a pothole, especially the front end of the vehicle, and it being a front wheel drive, even worse. But I'm hopeful that the appropriate parties are listening, and they try to at least, go around and address some of these issues with these potholes everywhere. The manhole up in that state, Thomas, and I've seen a lot of other roads. From North Side right down to Charlotte Mali in the town area. We could use some more road repairs for people. Of course, I'm going to put in there as well as Frenchtown has been paved. It looks nice. And other areas have been paved that the previous administration was able to start some of these projects, and they're underway. But we need to see some more projects underway for people to feel that there's been significant strides in improving our infrastructure, because it's not something that we want to continue to experience day by day. And folks, again, I know that I want to thank each and every one of you out there for listening, and even those of you who come in every once in a while and view it on Facebook. I want to thank you for at least being, especially those of you abroad, for being concerned and always trying to be in touch with what's going on in the U.S. Virgin Islands, because I know you still have families here, and you guys still have a vested interest in the Virgin Islands. And if I can be a medium to communicate information out to that greater audience out there, because I have listeners as far as California, and I just discovered I have a staunch listener all the way out in Canada. So I want to say to them, thank you for tuning in to Connect the Dots. And I, as you know, I'm on every Monday morning from 10 to 11 a.m., just trying to keep people informed about issues of importance, issues of relevance, and allow for the public the opportunity to call in, because this is, in fact, your platform as well. I don't expect everyone that calls in to say something positive, and even if it's something about me or something that I've said that you don't like, feel free to call in. I don't have a problem with that. It's democracy, and every person reserves the right to actually express their concerns about any particular issue, or even object to any radio host or anyone that provides comments about something that you feel is grossly inaccurate, and I have no problems with it. Again, this is, while I am the host of this program, this is also your program. Consider it your program, and feel free to participate, because I think by this medium, you can in fact be a part of the decision making process, because sometimes the little voices that you hear coming in, it may sound, and I'm talking about the common people, the little recommendations, suggestions, you never know if it can be or it would be something that can actually work. So this is why I enjoy listening to the public when they comment on issues. Good morning, you're on the air, connect the dots.
Yes, good morning, Francis Rebo.
Hey Rebo, how are you?
Okay, I was calling to put in my little 2 cents about the subject when you first came on.
Yeah.
About the documentary that is showing all the time with the George Floyd.
Yes.
I am so thankful that that young teenage black girl, if it wasn't for her that took that DVD, that took
That's correct.
those pictures and put it on the internet.
Yeah, the video.
He'll get away.
Yeah.
Our police officers doesn't do those kind of things with 3 individuals. Got your handcuffed behind your back, your face facing the ground. One officer got his knees on George Floyd's leg. The other one have his knees on his back, and the other one have his knees on his neck. Our officers don't do this kind of thing. Okay?
Yeah, we don't have that problem here.
Exactly it, because for a $20 bill, that means they are accustomed to do those kind of things, and they get catch. Okay? Now, I have lived in the States, in Harlem. I've experienced discrimination. I've been in the march with Martin Luther King. I've been in the march with the sanitation workers. I've been in the march with when we had to cross the Proctor's Bridge. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It was about 6 to 8 busload of us came from Harlem. And I'm glad that my cousin Cordell Reimer had put me in the Black Caucus. Because if I wasn't in the Black Caucus, I would have never been involved in those kind of things.
Yeah.
Okay? And the thing of it is that, you notice since we have had Kamala Harris as Vice President, a woman of color, Vice President of the United States, they don't like that. Okay? What they don't realize, God has spoken. God have really spoken. Okay? I even have documents of Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Black Panthers. You could name it. These are DVDs. These are DVDs.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is that black people are tired. They are tired. That's what I mean, Black Lives Matter. This has been happening for years, year in, year out. If you notice, from 2015 to now, a lot of black people have got killed over nonsense. Look at how they shot that young 16-year-old girl. And she was the one to call the police, you know.
Yeah.
Shot in the face, shot in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Our police don't do them kind of stupidness. When you misbehave in our police will say, "Son, behave yourself, no man." That's what they would tell you.
Yeah.
Okay? And the reality of it is that they need to stop. There's 2 laws in America, one for the whites, one for the black. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you know, the caller is absolutely correct that there's been a level of racism in the United States, in a lot of different states. And you know, when we look at the George Floyd case in particular, that George Floyd case raised the level of consciousness. And we actually, somewhere along the line, I mean, it's been mentioned in the national media about the young lady that took that video, took them pictures of Chauvin having his knee on his neck. But imagine the cams that the officers had. I don't think the cam from the car or the cam from some of them was carrying audio. And what was really, really heart-wrenching was to hear the audio from the video the young lady took, because that audio spoke volumes about the torture, about the pain, about just an individual, something that was inhumane, an individual that stood there on the ground. And it was so graphic for George Floyd to be calling for his mother, begging for dear life. That thing was quite polarizing, and as you could see, the picture here with Chauvin having his knee on the neck of George Floyd and just killing him, you know, goes down and is going to be remembered in history. But we have to thank that young lady that actually took the videos that, you know, gave a clear description of what actually transpired that day. Because you realize that if they didn't have those videos, there was a possibility that the description or the argument from the defense would be totally different, that could have led to his full exoneration from the charges that he had against him. But that's not the way it went. Now, many are anticipating or looking forward to seeing what the sentence is going to be. In the case with Dante Wright and a lot of the other cases that you have still pending. But we don't really have that in the Virgin Islands. And, you know, the Virgin Islands, if you ask me, I believe that the police department, and I'm not saying all, but in general, majority are family oriented, because we live in a small Virgin Islands. Some of the police officers are your family members or extended family member. And yes, while we have the consent decree against the police department and corrections bureau, and we're hoping, it's been over 10 years now, that we can find our way out of that consent decree, it still remains that we have to remain hopeful that the level of crimes that are actually transpiring in the Virgin Islands, that we find a strategic plan, that there is a strategic plan put in place. And it's my understanding, and I don't know how true it is, but I understand that the Senate is supposed to be deliberating this morning, and there may possibly be another vote of no confidence in the commissioner. But this would be the second one, and I've never heard of a 2-no vote of confidence. And maybe that's just a rumor, and maybe I guess they would be the ones that dispel it based on their actions. But we know that the police department is going to have to come up to par with whether it's a transformation, transitional, strategic plan, whatever you choose to name it. People want to feel that something is taking place. But I will say that I have seen police presence in certain areas, and for the purpose of making sure that there is no loitering and vagrants and stuff like that. And it's a lot of those folks that, coming back to the subject I was speaking about, it's those folks to extend the opportunity to them to get involved in the construction process. I don't think that we're truly trying to reach out. Let the ones that don't really want to work show or express that they really don't want to work. But we have to show an effort on our part to get them involved, to at least show them that there's opportunities here. Because for all you know, if you take one off the street and you afford him the opportunity to pay to tile an entire classroom, and he discovered that he has a true talent in tiling, he turns that into a business. And maybe it just might be the opportunity that he was waiting for, and we have put an additional person to work. But folks, it's just a lot of problems that we see, and we want to believe that the territory is going to see significant strides. There's been a lot of money earmarked to the Virgin Islands, enough to share among even the smaller contractors right up to the mid-sized contractors, to see the activity of joint ventures between contractors, local contractors, where they can form a joint venture to meet a different standard to bid on the bigger projects. Because we are certain that a lot of the local contractors have people on their roster to hire to work on these projects that are residents of the Virgin Islands. If we continue to miss this boat, it will be like the dog chasing its tail. So I'm saying to the administration, let's get our P's and Q's. And I want to go back to this travel portal because it was something I failed to mention. You're arresting these folks. And of course, I know that there was an incident where a husband and wife celebrating their anniversary that came to the Virgin Islands and ended up spending the weekend in jail because they say that they had submitted a false portal. You know, man, that might be the opportunity for a revenue producing project or revenue producing means that you put a penalty in place that they would have to pay for submitting a false thing and not necessarily have to just keep them in jail for any long period of time. Because if they're out and you're still quarantining them, that is an imprisonment in itself. So the government of the Virgin Islands might as well try to see if there's a way that you could attach a penalty for coming into this jurisdiction and submitting a false thing rather than incarcerating people for any long period of time and then this bill. Now I'm sure that I'm going to hear this is the federal government, interstate commerce. But we are the ones that created our portal. I flew into Michigan. Nobody asked me for my test results, but I had my test results available to me, which was actually taken the same day that I traveled. But when I returned, it was different. We were totally dependent on submitting our test results on the portal under Department of Tourism. Now, it went into my junk mail, and that could have been a major issue for me returning had I not searched my junk mail folder. So you see, we have little deficiencies there, but this thing about incarcerating people over a weekend and for days, we might as well turn that potential incarceration into cash and see maybe if a penalty can be applied on them that goes into the coffers of the government. And I know that bail has been provided and all of that stuff. We just got to be careful with this because we could potentially as well make the government liable in some respects. And I just gave one instance, one oversight, that the government of the Virgin Islands, through its portal, responded to my submission of a COVID test, and their response went into my junk mail. Could you imagine me in transit and the airline did not ask me for that particular email, and I was able to get through the cracks coming back home and not have nothing to present to confirm that I did submit my COVID test to the portal, because the portal sent it to my junk mail. It shouldn't be going in my junk mail. So these are little deficiencies that need to be corrected. And I believe, and I'm going to repeat it again, I'm not technologically savvy, but I know a little. And I think that you can probably apply for a certification to make your site a secure site, and at the same time apply it to your emails to make sure that when you respond to this submission into the portal, that it goes directly to the person's email and not their junk mail account. Because that like I said, the Virgin Islands government can become liable for arresting people who wrongfully, defaming, slandering, and putting people picture out there all over the internet. It's not a good feeling at all. And again, I indicated that we know that there's consequences for not following the law, and that is understood, and I respect that. I support that. But we got to find a way to remove a lot of the deficiencies and ensure that everything is 100% on board and accurate before we displace the wrong people and then have to face consequences ourselves as a government. But the lines are still open. We can take at least a couple more calls. The number to call here at WST is 340-774-1340, 1340. Again, it's 774-1340. Yes, we discussing this issue, and I can understand why contractors would not want to avail themselves to participate in a program and share with us their experiences and how they feel that they've been unfairly treated, because we do know, folks, the Virgin Islands is just but so big. And unfortunately, we have a whip that is used by some government officials who have the authority to do it, that they chastise someone for speaking out, because there's so many ways that you can chastise that person. Make some processes difficult for them. Make it difficult for them not to be able to successfully bid on projects. Make it difficult for them not to successfully be able to provide services to a government, or services that that person may need could affect the way services are distributed to that person. And we know how personal it can get in the politics here in the Virgin Islands. That is no secret. It's a fact. But we pray every day that some elected officials can get over it, put those petty differences aside, and make sure that there's a fair, equitable distribution of services that are provided to residents of the Virgin Islands, and don't take things personal and apply that on individuals to disenfranchise them in any way. And it's been so systematic here in the Virgin Islands for years. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. Some radio hosts would not talk about it because they might be on the government payroll. And the list goes on and on. But Adela Fonsi down the store could speak out and say what I have to say, because I'm not on no government's payroll. And yes, I keep hearing it over and over because I'm immune to attacks. I've been attacked in every way that you can think of. And you know what? My sister have always said, you don't throw rocks at a tree that don't bear fruit. So when I'm attacked, it's because I'm saying something. I've been chastised for telling the truth. But that's just me. And I truly understand there's an old saying, be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. So sometimes the words that you utter from your mouth might come to pass, might become reality. I understand that. So when you have contractors who will not avail themselves to speak the truth, to speak out, I understand that, because they know the way the system is shaped, the way some minds in the system who have assumed responsibilities in many areas, the way that their minds have been shaped in a vindictive manner to retaliate against a person for telling the truth. I understand it clearly. And that's why my years of public service, and if you followed my career, my years of public service, I never disclosed who my sources were. Any person that shared with me something that was very important and compelling, I never shared it with anyone. I respected that source. Protection, privacy, because I understand that not everyone is cut from the same. I understand that. So for years, I was the extended voice, spoke out, expressed what many did not want to express, and I continue to do so. And while in closing off, I want to say this, because when we talk about connecting the dots, I'm hopeful that the legislature of the Virgin Islands, as they start to embark on different inquiries, I have several phone calls that I've received over the past weeks asking me about contracts with the Public Finance Authority, the PFA, which the governor serves as the chairperson to the PFA, and how they're conducting. That's for the Senate to now decide. If I was in the Senate, you know me, the same way I tackled Innovative, the same way I tackled government officials who were in fact operating in an unethical manner. And the same way I addressed many conglomerates never having any fare is the same way I feel that you, the people of the Virgin Islands, are charging some of you elected officials with the responsibility of inquiring, questioning, and uprooting what we felt have kept the Virgin Islands down for so long. And it's no secret. We get in our little quarters, in little circles, little social circles, and we often talk about the level of corruption in the Virgin Islands. Why? Because we're so close to it. We see things happening, and we can't understand for the life of us, if no one else, we can't understand why the blind eye is being turned from other quarters, from the authority, who should in fact be overseeing that. We see people landing contracts, major contracts. We know their association, but no one really talks. Why? Because for fear of retaliation. And it's upon us, it is real, and many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, as the weeks progress, every Monday here on WSTA, from 10 to 11 a.m., if you have the time, just pivot over, because you never know when Connect the Dots is going to address an issue of great importance, and an issue that can be quite controversial, because we don't shy away from any controversial issue. We understand that somebody's got to call a spade, and this program is intended to call a spade a spade. So, folks, it's almost at the end of the hour. I still have 2 minutes left, so if anyone wants to call in within those 2 minutes to express themselves, whether left, right, indifferent, contradiction, feel free to do it, because I truly believe in democracy. I truly believe in people speaking their mind, and I truly believe in disseminating information via this medium to Virgin Islanders, and that it's accurate, that it's built on facts. So I'll go to the telephone, one more call. Good morning, you're on the air, Connect the Dots.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine.
I know the time is, I just wanted to, commend you for your stance and your statement. It is the truth, and I'm glad that people are recognizing the truth in the community, that people see things going on and they just turn a blind eye to it, and it's time that it stop, because that's what is causing a lot of problems among the young people in the community. And I just want to see more people, become courageous, because there are laws that protect whistleblowers. Okay?
Yes.
And people need to become intolerant of the oppression. It's called oppression. And we look at other countries around the world and we see how those in power treat their people. And it's no different here. Okay? So people start to wake up. We on our talk show, we don't have any ties, like you said. We don't have any ties, and we gonna speak out. They don't like it, too bad. Straighten up your act, because the people are suffering in the world. Okay?
That's right.
So, I just wanted to lend a little support to what you have been saying.
And thanks for calling, Reese. I recognize the voice.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. No problem.
Bye-bye.
Right.
Yes, folks, and that's the thing. If we allow, when a young person, and I'm going to give you an experience of mine, a young person approach you and start to talk about, how Tom, Joe, Frank could get a $8 million contract under that company influenced by a certain elected official, and you know what's going on, and they're paying close attention. They're paying close attention. This is a small community, and we got to be careful, because, and there's a couple of things that don't go hand in hand. You know you're doing wrong. Why are you still embarking on trying to disenfranchise people? Be responsible for a person only $54,000 a year or $45,000 a year getting terminated. Is that self-grandizement? At some point, it will all come to an end, because I think that the community is becoming more and more conscious of what is going on. So again, thank you guys for listening. I hope that you have a prosperous and productive week. And God bless each one of you. This was Adler Fonsi Donistorg here on Connect the Dots. See you next week at the same time from 10 to 11 a.m. live here on WSTA and live on social media from Facebook to Vimeo to YouTube, you name it, on several platforms. But do have a blessed week.